Hey guys, not gonna be before you long. Just want to pose a question, I guess, to make people think, or maybe somebody can help me understand. In what world is it okay for an adult? Maybe I should ask this. Why is the victim mentality so prevalent nowadays? I say that, and let me give an example of what I'm talking about, because I'm not talking about people that fall victim to other people, children that fall victim to predators. I'm not talking about that. I guess it's more along the lines of accountability. So when I ask that question, I'm talking in the sense of, for an example, um, we have people, and I've experienced people that have said some things, done some things, move a certain way. And when you respond to how they're moving, your reaction to how they're moving, and you don't have to pop off and you don't have to be all, whoop de woo and rah rah, none of that. Just step off silently. Then it becomes what you did to them, or they pretend like they don't know what the hell is going on. Like I'm just not understanding why or how in society nowadays it's okay for you to move how you want to move. But when I respond to how you move, then I'm the problem. This happens in relationships. This happens in the workplace. This happens between parent and child. This happens. And when I say I'm noticing it more often, it's like, my goodness. When do we hold ourselves accountable for our actions and understand that something we did shifted the energy? Something we did caused something to happen, which in turn is a reaction. And that reaction could be a conversation. That reaction could be the pop off and rah rah, all of that. I'm just noticing that. Really paying attention to people, how they move, the things they say, and how they respond to someone's reaction. So I don't know if we realize, but the universal laws are in full effect. Cause and effect. What you put out comes back to you. We call it karma. But there's a thing, you can't move a certain way and expect me, when it's different from how you've been moving, and expect me to be okay. I can't switch up the game and expect people to just kind of maintain, because here's the thing. Everybody has a choice in how they respond. You have a choice in how you move, and I have to make a decision for me. What does that mean? So you moving this way, or you said you feel this way, or you decided that this is what works best for you. At what point do I get to cry, sit down and cry and be like, oh, they did this to me, or oh, no, that's not what's going on. What's really going on is that person made a decision that's best for them. And what's best for them, I now have to decide if it's what's best for me. And I say either yes or no. And if it's no, excuse me, somebody's calling me. Then at what point do you get mad because I don't agree with, or I'm not okay with what's going on? So I had a conversation with a friend of mine not a while ago, maybe last week. And we were discussing this very thing, how he's dating someone, and they had an agreement on how they're dating, and everything is good based on what it is that they have going on, whatever conversation, communication they had that established how they were going to move forward. And one party thought that they were still moving that way, and the other decided that they wanted something different, but didn't have the conversation. So now somebody's hurting in their feelings because the other party doesn't agree with how you moving, like you decide you want to progress, they okay with staying where they at, and now you mad and in your feelings, and now they've done something to you. They didn't do anything to you. Nobody did anything to anybody. What happened is somebody decided they wanted to change. Now, whether you communicated that or not, okay. But when that person responds and reacts to either your changing movement or that conversation, and they move away, or they're not in agreement, so they then take a step down or step back, however you want to call it, you can't get mad. I see this happen a lot with women. So we get into these relationships or situationships, and everything is what it is. At some point, you decide, I decide that now I have feelings, when before we were just getting to know each other. Now I have feelings, and now I want to move further in the relationship. But he decides that's not what I want to do. Now I'm sitting around playing victim and crying, and oh, he hurt me, and oh, this and oh, that, and he knows how much I care about him, and blah, blah, blah. Like, lady, sit down somewhere. Because the first thing you need to understand is, just because you grew into that position doesn't mean he is. And if you gave him the opportunity to move further or move up, come up a notch or solidify or make a commitment, and he decided he didn't want to, that's what's best for him. And he has every right to decide what's best for him. Now, for you, it's okay to be hurt. I'm not saying you can't be in your feelings. I'm not saying any of that. But don't deflect. Don't make it his fault. Because he decided that he didn't like what was presented. He's gotten to know you, and now that's not it. Don't get upset because he decided that. Because one or two things comes from that decision. Either he's not willing to do the work to come up to where it is you're trying to go. Your goals don't match. Somebody saw that we're not on the same journey. Or you just dodged a bullet because maybe he just really is not it. He's not what the universe or God has in store for you. So I'm never saying that it's okay. It's not okay to identify or acknowledge feelings. It's not okay I'm not ever going to say you don't have a certain type of feeling or you don't have the right to have that feeling. But what you don't have to do is make how you feel somebody else's fault. Not in these type of situations. We have to really be logical about stuff that's going on right now in the world, in our lives. Like, at the end of the day, everybody is responsible for themselves, and everybody has the right to say what they do or don't want. I'm not going to get mad with someone because they decide that I'm not the person for them. I'm not going to say I'm not going to be hurt. But I'm only going to sit there for a minute, and I'm going to realize, okay, so she decided that's not for me. That's not for them. So now I have to govern myself accordingly. Which means I have to go back, process my feelings, see how I got to the point where I invested so much emotion into someone that obviously didn't have that much invested in me. And then I have to decide how to move forward. And I keep saying decide. So I want you to peep that. Decisions, choices, thoughts. Where are we? How did I get here? A lot of it underlying comes from behavior patterns, thought patterns, those things that we have moved in for so long that have caused us to continuously be in certain cycles. Or if you feel like you're always meeting the person that gets you, and I'm going to say this, get you emotionally involved, and then decide that, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm moving on. How did I get here? What actions have I been taking? What thought processes? What is it about me that's having me to make these decisions to always end up in these types of situations? Because if you continue to be in the same type of situation over and over, one thing is a constant in that. equation.